Hello, this case review demonstrates the storm target approach for the July 26, 2022 flood event in eastern Missouri, including St. Louis. This video will illustrate how storm target essentially targets storm hazards to provide greater precision and timeliness than the information provided in government watches and warnings, supporting better decisions to take protective action when in imminent danger, and not do so when not yet in danger. For this case, we'll focus on the St. Louis, Missouri TV viewing market. This is one of two flood cases available in this video series. There was a slight risk for excessive rainfall across northern and north-central Missouri into west-central Illinois. The Weather Service had a flood watch in effect for just the northernmost counties of the St. Louis viewing area, with a forecast of 2 to 3 inches of rain, with lesser amounts further south. So initially, it was not looking like a big deal for the viewing area. The environment was suggesting something a little different, though. It showed an elevated warm front extending from northern to east-central Missouri, including the St. Louis area. There was substantial elevated instability and lift along this boundary, along with a max of anomalously high precipitable water values. We also saw weak upper divergence over the elevated warm front. All were suggesting conditions favorable for thunderstorms along the warm front. Upwind propagation vectors were nearly parallel to the warm front, suggesting potential for training storms that could produce excessive rainfall. Evening model guidance generally suggested a band of heavy storms over northern Missouri into western Illinois, where we had the flood watch. However, the 4Z HRRR run showed a heavy rain band a bit further south, getting close to the St. Louis area, with a 12-hour rainfall amount forecast to exceed 4 inches. This may have been the factor that led to a southward extension of the flood watch to the St. Louis area. We also see on satellite imagery a band of storms that formed over north-central Missouri, appearing to be headed just north of St. Louis. However, due to parallax, an issue that causes a northward bias on where satellite images show features, the band is shown with a slight northward bias in this location. This is confirmed on radar imagery, which shows this band of storms a bit further south, extending from Columbia, Missouri to the St. Louis area, along the elevated warm front. As a result, the actual flood threat over the next few hours was not over northern Missouri, where little precipitation was occurring, but instead was over east-central Missouri, including the St. Louis area, as illustrated in the monitor graphic shown, which was suggested in the chat message. Between 4 and 5Z, we see the setup of training convection along the elevated warm front across east-central Missouri towards St. Louis. Through 5Z, 3-hour rainfall estimates have exceeded 2.5 inches, with rainfall a little over half of flood guidance values. By 5Z, the heavy rain was spreading over the St. Louis area. A prepared graphic would be recommended for this particular part of the watch area, where the flood threat existed for the next 1 to 2 hours, as suggested in the chat message. At 6Z or 1 a.m., radar showed rainfall amounts nearing flood guidance, and an action area would be recommended for this training band of convection. The continued heavy rain was expected to push amounts above flood guidance during the next hour. In fact, we see here 7Z radar data showing not only rainfall amounts exceeding flood guidance, but a continuation of heavy rainfall over the area. A flash flood warning was issued for the St. Louis area shortly after 7Z, after rainfall exceeded flood guidance. But the prepare and action steps could have been used to message the danger 1 to 2 hours in advance. By 8Z or 3 a.m., rainfall amounts were well above flood guidance, which combined with radar continuing to show training storms over the area, suggested the likelihood of a significant flood event for the St. Louis area extending northwestward. Just after 3:30 a.m., the local Weather Service office issued a flash flood emergency for the St. Louis area. Flash flooding was being reported, and the heavy rainfall was continuing, along with the action area. This was a historic flood event for the St. Louis area, with rainfall amounts of 4 to 8 inches, causing major flooding. Did you see the difference in threat messaging between the Weather Service watches and warnings and the downscale threat messaging associated with the monitor, prepare, and action graphics? These steps can provide greater lead time as well as more precision in where the threat existed, more so than the watch and warning products. Please refer to the initiative's website at storm-target.com to review other case demos in the video series. Thank you.